goal is to bring you your next favorite band.
Thanks for having us. This is a very cool show.
Yeah, so through many iterations, and we finally landed on the weirdest one by far.
Yeah, simple feelings, and boom, you got a song.
I remember this one time, I had been writing some songs, and I went out. I'm just going right in on this story. I went out, and so I was.
The story's longer than the song itself. We'll go ahead and play it.
And listen, it's going to be everybody's favorite band. Welcome to your next favorite band. That's both the show title and our promise to you. We here at Stereophilia Studio are tireless in our pursuit of finding incredible, genre-defiant artists who are either a hot up-and-coming band or a group that has been delivering for years but have flown under the radar. Day 9 of the Musikfest daily live streams from Godfrey Daniels. We have Rachel Ana Dobken and a replay of our interview with Igor of the Red Elvises. Each month, we will bring you live streams, audio podcasts, and perhaps even a live concert where you can listen to the stories and hear the music of artists personally curated by us based on what we feel will be worthy of your time. Be sure to subscribe and tune in to each episode because the possibilities are endless and you never know who will be your next favorite band. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Philip Reese, and this is, say it with me, your next favorite band.
I love it.
Oh, and we have one here for you, Rachel Ana Dobken.
Hello.
Joining us on the show today, also part of the guest hosting, and we also have Mike Egan.
How are you?
We're doing great. Fan of the show?
Absolutely.
Yeah, always giving me some good feedback on things, and appreciate you all. You're tuning in, and can't wait to kind of fly this together here today.
Sounds great.
Awesome. But as everybody knows, the first thing we kind of do here is talk about the picks of the Platz,
Cool.
And we bring in some of those the sounds of these different bands. But my apologies, Rachel.
Oh, it's okay.
You know what? It'll be a cool reveal. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I'll just get close with you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm actually trying to read it too.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, it's so funny. Like I end up pulling it up on here because it's people are like, oh, you're getting old, you can't read it. I'm like, no, it's super tiny. Yes, I am getting old, but there. So we have Arkai as the fave of the day. They were on the show yesterday, and boy, did they put on a show. I mean, awesome interview, super cool dudes, and then they performed their kind of their masterpiece, which is called Patchwork.
Cool.
I mean, all their music is brilliant and masterful, but that one in particular, and they knew I liked it, so they played it, and good Lord, was it good. So we're going to bring that on the studio recording in a second. Then Rachel Ana Dobken with 2 sets today. Mm-hmm. 2 from Archive. We'll get into the times and places in a second. Pepperwine, fan of the show.
Also, Asbury Park based. I've played with them before.
Oh, Pepperwine?
I know them well.
Yeah, excellent.
I saw that. I was like, wait, what? They're playing Musikfest?
Yeah. You should come up after your Zinzaplatz set.
We played a show with them in May at Asbury Lanes.
Fantastic.
Actually. Yeah, they're amazing.
Oh, I love them.
Kelly's
They actually headlined we do a Earth Day show called the No Planet B Jamboree.
Oh,
And they were our headliners.
Yeah, so talented.
Yeah, they're awesome. Chance Emerson, Brass Queens, and then Igor and the Red Elvises. They're always such a fun time. So let's bring in some of what that sounds like, and we'll take this off the screen so we can see. People are going to want to see you more than me, that's for sure. So we do that, and we bring in the top one here. So let's bring in Archive, the song I was just talking about called Patchwork. Prepare to be blown away. I've featured. It was on our Exordium. They played it yesterday, so maybe some people who are tuning in already have seen it before, but this will be a treat for you for sure. Here's Archive's song Patchwork. So Juilliard trained Jonathan and Philip, good name, and they are, I don't know, they just blow me away every time.
Awesome.
Yeah. And they, their whole set is filled with stuff like this. Like they will bounce you somewhere between what sounds like classical, like what you would expect from people with a cello and a violin, perhaps, and then they turn it on its ear like this. And sometimes they also play using their electric cello and electric violin, and then they can do even more special things.
Really cool.
And they sometimes have it almost sound like a hip-hop beat to it.
Were they doing all that during their set? Wait,
They
are
will.
they playing again today? Is that
They
what's
are, yeah.
happening? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
4:30.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 4:30 on the Main Street stage.
I feel like this is the beauty of. Are we allowed to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please do.
I don't want to interrupt if we're all just listening, but this is the beauty of music in context, right? Like,
Yep.
if you took this and you had two heavy guitars and bass, this would sound like metal.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
Oh,
but
totally.
And there is an element of that, and then there is also an element of classical and metal and jazz. It's like this
Yes.
is the beauty of all of this.
And the
It's
beauty
true.
of what you're talking about too is what you get at a festival like this one, because you're able to touch on these different themes, genres, whatever you want to say, stage by stage. They're all a couple yards apart.
That's really cool.
Yeah, there's 15 free stages of music, and you're playing on two different ones,
Yeah.
and you're going to get a totally different vibe from those two.
Yeah.
And that's not even going to bring you to Southside, which would be a whole other one.
Yeah, and I've never been to the festival. Like, rolled up today from Asbury Park, like just in,
Festival
like,
rookie.
yeah, and
Rad.
doing the podcast, then 2 sets. So it's just like rolling right into it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's, you know, it's I'm excited because like hearing that there's such a wide variety of bands that play a festival like this.
Yeah.
It's cool, and it's also comforting, you know. 'Cause
Right.
It's like you've got there's a level of like I don't know how to like no pressure. Like there's a
No, totally.
You know
And
what I'm
listen,
saying?
there's such a Bethlehem is also blessed with a very listening community.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
they
that's
love
great.
listening to music. And the other thing I think you'll be, because many musicians comment on it, is the diversity of age. You're going to have high school kids all the way through, and even infants and toddlers, especially in the afternoon.
Yeah, yeah.
All the way to like 70 and 80-year-olds, and they're all sitting together and they're all loving the
That's
festival
great.
together.
That's great.
So it is terrific. Mike, what'd you think of Archive?
I think they're very cool.
Yeah.
And one of the things I like about listening to your show, if you were to describe that to me, it probably wouldn't be something I was interested in.
No.
But just in that 30 seconds of listening, that's really cool and something I would
Yeah.
check out. So it's great to be able to be introduced to that type of music.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like that's, in fact, why the show came to be. Is I was just the knucklehead who went to all 10 days of Musikfest and saying, "Oh my gosh, you got to check out this band," and people would be like, "Well, what is it?" I'm like, "Okay, so it's classically trained, you know, cello and violin, but don't let that stop you because they kind of also put beats and loop and all that stuff, and then the people are just like, all right, forget it. But if you just let me have you for a moment, pay attention, and then when you listen to the show and in 45 minutes we tell their whole backstory and trials and tribulations and things they've overcome or whatever, it's just like you're just so much more attached to the band, the artist, the genius, the art, whatever. So I love the fact that might be something that someone would get out of the show. That's the whole point.
Definitely.
Yeah. In fact, we say it in that opening. It's genre defiant. Like it does not matter.
Yeah, I love that.
We bring on everybody. So let's bring on some Rachel Ana Dobken. So we have this. This is like your recent, explosive hit right now, right? Always.
Well, this is actually it's an older song. So this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
getting
let's hear the story.
So I have a new record coming out, but it's been a long time coming. Like I haven't put out music since 2018.
Okay.
Unfortunately, just like circumstances and COVID.
Yeah. Little something the global pandemic had.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
exactly. I had unfortunately, my dad had cancer and passed away in the process of me. Thank you. Of doing this next record, which is also why I'm excited because there's a lot of catharsis involved in it. But
Yes.
this song in particular is it's the fan favorite. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're definitely gonna be playing it today. I'm stoked that you chose it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's one of those things you just listen to, listen to her rip. Like it's just so great.
I like to rip.
Yeah, for sure. Well, here let's put it on display. Here is Always by Rachel Ana Dobken.
See the way you look into my eyes just right every night. I love the funny feeling that I get inside every time we not the types to sit and let a good thing pass us by, and that's why I am yours and you are mine, and life has
I love when a musician just has such a mastery, and you're just blindly just ripping those strings, and it's just like so fun to watch.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely a rock and roll gal. So like, whenever I get to shred, I mean anything. I mean, where this song started was that riff. And
for sure.
a lot of my songs will start there's a big song Acceptance that's the title track off my next record. Same thing. It started with a big riff, and
It is always interesting to hear how the songs came to be. Like, is it lyrics first? Chords first, something just came to you, or even just the pattern of the melody.
And it usually, because I'm also a drummer, and this is the funny thing, Ryan, my old bandmate, is playing drums at this point because the director and I decided, let's have you play guitar first. It's a really pivotal guitar part, but during the bridge, I switched to the drums.
I was gonna mention it because again, it's great when you see these multi-instrumentalists. Yeah. It's not usually the front person that's the multi-instrumentalist.
And actually, I'm playing drums in the recording.
That's so
he's
fun.
just playing my part. But you can't, and that is a thing that I really pride myself on. And not even just pride myself, but it's important to me as an artist because I'm a multi-instrumentalist and I can't always play drums live.
Yeah, right.
Although I am today.
Oh, you are?
This is new, but my drummer got sick, so we are pivoting and playing as a three-piece.
Wow.
And half the set I will be playing drums and singing, and half the set I will be playing guitar and singing.
That's super impressive, though.
So we're 90-minute Musikfest set. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? But that's also the beauty of we've been touring this summer, and I've been sort of doing both of them. So, yeah, I forgot your question. I totally
no.
on a tangent.
It's the songwriting stuff, but it doesn't matter. We'll just flow with it because actually, what you're talking about also is proof of the talent. Because some musicians who might be talented songwriters, they're not as talented in performance, and they need it to go a certain way.
And it's a lot of practice. I think that's another thing too. There's being given the talent, which is always obviously. I feel blessed, but I worked very hard.
Of course.
At the hours I've put. I think sometimes people are like, wow, and for me in my head, I'm like, oh, that was such shit. I don't know if I can curse.
You can, absolutely you can, especially talking about moments like that. But the other things too are again, to pivot on that, having never been to the festival, having, anything else that could go wrong, GPS is aside, but I just want to mean now you're still saying, okay, we can fix that, and then you easily could have said to me, listen, we're going through a kind of a band-ish crisis, we got to pivot, and I can't do the show anymore, and I would have been totally get it.
No.
But here you are doing this, totally taking that in stride, and you're going to have a great day. I think people will love the fact of seeing kind of a two different versions of the performer.
That's what we've been discussing as a group, and how I feel a lot of times people are really... The thing that is memorable is oh wow, she plays drums and sing because it's not a thing you see every day.
Right.
And it is really, like I said, important to me. And it is a challenge because I know that when I can just stand and sing or stand with a guitar, my vocals can carry much better.
Yeah.
But I'm working towards getting to a point where it's Levon Helm is my everything. One of. And rest in peace, Robbie, because that just happened. And a huge fan of the band. But yeah, I don't know. I think for me also just always going into gigs expecting the unexpected.
Yeah.
I've learned now playing enough shows that it's if something can go wrong, it probably will.
Yeah.
Be expected to have extra straps, extra strings, extra
for sure
cables.
But I have a whole box over here from learning by oops, that is going to be a problem. I mean, you even saw when we started the show today, we had no audio. Because I can't do really a sound check again, but I was just sitting here going, well, it's going to be a simple thing. Let's just unplug it and plug it back in. Boom, it worked.
And then I was let's just turn it up and see if it's the phone.
So, yeah, I was just I didn't really panic because I figured we'd figure something out. Or nothing, we were just going to stand here and look pretty. But anyway, so the music. Let's go back a little bit here. So where did you start on drums? Did you start on guitar?
No, I actually started on guitar when I was about 8 years old. But I always knew I was a drummer, and because I always had really good sense of rhythm and just the way I heard things. And sort of going back to your question about forming a song, it's interesting because a lot of times, I will hear a riff or a phrase or a chord progression and a melody, and immediately after I hear the groove. I just know. I'm okay, this is what the drums are going to do. So for me, they're all really connected.
You're laying the tracks in your brain.
Yeah. And I think that... But yes, I started on guitar, and then I always knew I was a drummer, but my mom didn't want drums in the house. she was just like, no, you can play piano or guitar. And I was like, and by the time I turned 19, I said, Mom and Dad, like, I feel really strongly about this. I want drum lessons for my birthday. And then I started studying jazz.
I thought you were going to be like, it's either we let drums in the house or I'm moving out. I thought that's where the story was going.
No, I was in college,
Yeah.
but I was just like, listen, I really want this. I'm going to take some music classes, and then I started studying jazz and with a concentration in voice and drums, although I had amazing guitar lessons and professors too that taught me modes, and so I think drums and vocals are my strongest, and I'm most comfortable behind the drums.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Are you starting today's set? Is it started behind the drums or?
I don't know.
Okay.
We haven't decided. You know what? We were writing the set in the car, and I think the set we're landing on is probably going to start on guitar.
Got it.
It depends. It depends on the audience. It depends how people are feeling.
Sure.
Hopefully, people will be there.
Yes.
I guess this is like I was saying. Like,
Let's talk about the time so we make sure we put that out there.
Oh,
so
yes.
Your Lagerplatz, which is just you acoustic,
Yeah.
is at 3:00.
Yes.
And then the
Still don't
Zinsen-
know the set for that either, by the way. Just realized
Just
that
take requests
as
from the
we were
audience.
listening, I was like, oh God, what's my set going to be for the
But that's a very cool stage because it really is singer-songwriter on display kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then Zinsenplatz, which is an awesome stage.
So stoked. Have
Yeah.
no idea what it looks like. No idea what I'm walking
You're going to love
into.
it. And it's a great stage for you as far as like each one kind of has a little bit of a vibe or a culture
Love
to
it.
it. It's not a definitive thing, but it almost is like, oh, we're going to put that style of sound there, this one here, this one here. And you fit that one for sure. So Zinsenplatz 6:30.
Awesome. Yep.
And we will definitely be catching you there. I don't think I can personally make the first one,
Oh,
but
well, the second one's the one to come too. Let's let the 3:00 set
Yeah.
be the one that gets people to the 6:30
yeah.
set.
I would think, music aside and crowd aside, I would think you'd want to start out front just to establish
Yes.
you as front person, front woman, and then say, by the way, I'm also going to kick some cans
Yeah.
for a little bit.
Yeah, and it's a situation where like we've sort of navigated how to get me behind the drums like mid song and do certain things to
Right.
make it work with the flow. So this should be interesting because like I said, we had to pivot. So we're gonna be improvising, but like I'm feeling good about today, and I'm feeling the energy of the
Sure.
town and the people, and
Oh.
being here is a great way to start off.
Between now and like call it 6:00, you're also going to be even
Yeah.
just that much more like realizing how awesome this is
Yeah,
going to be.
I can't wait.
And the weather's good, and like it's good. Even there's a chance of like a sprinkle, I think, around that time, but that's a tented stage, so you guys, anybody who's there would be there,
come
right?
in.
Right, exactly.
Get away from the rain and come see the
right.
And, rad band.
And
Yeah.
just let the music pull them in too.
Yeah.
But let's have you play something.
Great, I
This
would
be
love
great.
to.
Yeah. So you and I are gonna hop out of here. We'll let Rachel have the.
Do you want me to keep my headphones on, or it doesn't matter?
That's up to you.
Okay.
Either way, I'll keep mine on to make sure the sound is good. But if you
Okay,
want to
cool.
take yours off for the
Well, I
performance-
will at least to grab my guitar.
Yeah.
So. Awesome.
Is there anything you need moved or?
No, you're great. I might just shift this a little bit, but no, this is perfect. Okay. Just gonna sit and do this.
So what are you going to end up playing? You can intro it if you'd like.
I'm trying to decide. I might do I think I will do the title track off my new record.
Perfect.
Okay. So let's just make sure I'm in tune. Oh, this is exciting. I feel like you guys are in my living room. Oh, it's already out of tune.
Yeah. I'm sure it's the change in humidity from the drive.
Oh,
to here.
yeah. Also, I don't really play my acoustic that often, so. Okay, so this is, so you want me to intro it?
Yeah.
Cool. So the new record's called Acceptance, and people think that this is a song about a relationship, but it's really about the most important relationship, which is your relationship with yourself.
Oh, nice.
And finding all the answers within. So it's something I struggle with enormously. I write songs to remind myself of certain things. So yeah, this is called Acceptance. Acceptance comes and goes away like every other Saturday. You'll know what the truth is when you find it. And hard to find your way. Nothing's working out for you. Running round in circles trying to hide it. Acceptance comes and goes away, and you are thank you guys. I was like, oh wait, I'm not used to playing this on acoustic. Was this the right song? But I was feeling the vibe.
No,
so.
it was so great.
Oh, thank you so much.
That was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. And fun fact, I'll be playing drums on that tonight with the
Okay.
full band. So I got it. I got to do my little
There you
guitar
go.
fix on
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And we got to enjoy some of the acoustic stuff.
Yeah.
So you said it's Acceptance, and that's also the name of the EP.
That's the name of the LP. Yeah, the record.
LP, yeah.
Yep. Mhm.
Very cool. And I guess there's stories to it.
Yeah.
And it was what we was talking about a little bit before about how it's like the artist tends to be moved by heartache or pain or suffering or beauty, and so it's just so cool. Like something that we talked about a little bit yesterday with Archive, and just comes up a lot where it's just like that the wounded human then creates art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was like a song that kind of came as a culmination. That's why I ended up naming the record Acceptance, because it feels like, not only does it feel like musically where I really want to be right now, like where my soul wants, which again, you hearing it very stripped, but if you can imagine the song as a whole, really has this kind of like Sabbath meets Blind Faith, thick, fuzzed out. There's a whole guitar solo. It's really, really ripping, and the drums are big and heavy, and
Can't wait.
Yeah.
To compare those two will be really, really cool.
It's my favorite. It's all of our favorite songs to play, and it's always like the showstopper, because by the end we have this whole little jam section happen too. And yeah, I think like that's a perfect example. That song started with that little like that riff, and I think I even heard it in my head, and I sat down at the piano and I recorded it, and then it's just kind of like I struggle every day with, like I was saying, these things of just like being in my head and thinking and over analyzing, and I think it's just part of like the sentiment of being an artist. Like I have many friends that just everyday life is like a little bit of a struggle.
Sure.
But
Well, I think
it is
again
for a
that's
lot
why
of
people
people.
turn to music. It's
Yes.
either to feel part of something and less alone, or to escape.
Yeah.
And get it like, I just need to leave real life behind me a little bit, so let me jump into yours.
And I feel like as an artist myself, like I have this ability, and I feel like a lot of artists have this, of just communicating my emotions in a way that other people necessarily can't but feel.
Yeah.
Or are, like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
said, struggling, don't know how to articulate it, don't even really necessarily know what they're feeling. And I think that's such the power of music as
Totally is.
an entity and as a healing entity. you
Oh,
know?
absolutely. Because if you're unable to express it yourself, it's just getting caught up. And so sometimes that music just unlocks something that lets you to just kind of like work on something that maybe you were pushing to the side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's funny because this song was such a like struggle to start and finish. We started this song in February of 2020 and through like kept getting shut down.
Of course, right, yeah.
This
I'm not accepting.
Right. This person gets COVID, then the engineer and producer gets and then it was just like that song, and then mixing it was just like the hardest. I mean, I probably mixed that song like 16 times. Like beating my head against the wall, and everyone was like, Rachel, life, imitate art, accept it. It's over. It's done. Like, you've got it.
I think, so I've heard this a lot on the show where people struggle they know once they are done, it's over.
Yeah.
And it's like, if it's the unfinished sculpture, you're like, I'm not done with it yet.
Right.
So you can't just release it into the world if it's not ready.
Yeah.
But yes, sometimes the
But
artist
also-
needs a smack in the face of cold water.
And then there's like the reality of the music industry we're living in now, where it's just like, unfortunately, it's quantity over quality. You just have to be pushing content out all the time. And it's like, we have the first singles coming out now officially September 13th, which I'm very excited.
Very cool.
Yes. And, but it's been a process, and I just want to keep creating and putting art out there, because that's where I think, going back to the overanalyzing and this and that, like we're just living in such crazy times where everyone's so bogged down by the noise that it's just like trying to sift through that and do your thing.
Oh, yeah.
And like for me as an artist, it's like I just want to do that and create, but everything else that it involves and all the business side of things, and I do everything myself. I just now have a team now, which is amazing, but it's been years of just the grind. It's the
DIY.
grind.
Yeah, exactly right.
But that's why it's so important someone like you is doing something like this, because you give us all a platform. I mean, I would have never heard of that first band either. And it's, I think it's what you say is so true. It's just like there's not a lot of places like this anymore that are really for the artist. I mean,
That's
you can
and
find
it.
them, but-
I do try to keep it with the independent artists.
Totally.
Like there are opportunities to come along and be like, hey, you want to interview this band? And it's like, I'm not going to say a name because it's irrelevant. The point is that they're because of Arts Quest or whatever,
Right.
they just you find out about things. And it's not a humble brag or anything.
Right.
I'm just more talking about opportunities come along, and I'm always just like, everybody knows whether or not that's their next favorite band. It's not the theme of the show.
Yeah.
So the whole point was like, it's like I'm trying to be true to a more independent DIY artist, so that because that's the whole point is like this great music is out there and it's hard to go find it as a consumer.
Yeah.
So like radio's gone.
I know.
There's just no way to go and kind of learn about something that you wouldn't have otherwise come across. Like even the algorithms that are in Spotify or Pandora are only going to feed you stuff that sound exactly like what you already listen to.
know.
So you might find a new band or two, but you're not going to like the diversity of what you're going to hear here. All these different genres, like to what you said, Mike, where it was like, if you describe that to me, I'm not going to go listen to it because it's not my thing. But you play it for me, and it's like, yeah, I want more of that.
Yeah, and being able to see the performance and admire the art behind it and the time and the craft and the talent, it's, it has just a different feeling.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we were going to keep going with the list of picks of the day, but I know you need to head off to your stage.
Because I got to go figure out and write a set
I forgot to give this to you before, but that's our little
thank you so
guitar
much.
pick business card. So
That's so cool.
yeah. So we will let you get going.
Cool.
Let's
Awesome.
remind people 3:00 is the acoustic set on the Lagerplatz stage.
Yep.
And then 6:30 on Zinsenplatz, full
Yes.
band. And you're going to play both guitar and drums. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely,
for
thank
having
you.
me. This was such a pleasure.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say, can we take selfie? But that's like, I know you're on air still. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's
we'll
just
take
do it
one
anyway.
Later. Oh, we want to do it?
Yeah,
Okay,
go ahead.
Here we go.
And I'll start bringing up the other
Okay,
music.
everybody. Yeah, good idea. I love
Yeah,
it.
we're going to live stream a selfie.
All right, here we go. How does it get? Come on, are you gonna come in like that? Does it get any more 2023 than
Exactly,
this? Let's
right.
see if I can do this. I probably have both.
You want me to do it at the...
Yeah, and why is it doing that now? Don't. I'm just making this so much. Everyone listening, I'm sorry. I just took a picture. All right, here
Phil
we go.
is
Here we
known
go.
for his selfies.
Here we go. Yeah,
right.
we got to
Now
do
we're
the selfie.
Awesome.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. And also pepper wine's great. So everybody enjoy them.
I think that's who we're bringing up
Yep,
next, right?
that's who you're bringing up next. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here.
Let's
Good. You guys have so much fun.
Absolutely, we will, and we will see you at
Can't wait to see you
6:30.
later.
Thank you. I'll see you guys later. Okay. Make sure I don't forget my bag or anything.
Let's take your name off the screen because I am not Rachel Ana Dobken. I don't want anybody to think I'm trying to like do a takeover. Mike,
Yes.
how are you?
Doing well.
I
I really enjoyed that performance.
Isn't that she?
Amazing, and just even in here, where it's completely stripped down, the vocal range was incredible.
Right.
I mean, I definitely like singing in the shower.
No, you're also a wonderful singer. You, like, we go out to bars, and if they have karaoke, you sing.
Oh, I love to.
Absolutely. I don't do any of that, but I love listening to you sing.
But to be able to go from that like smoky, bassy sound up to the high pitched, it's even like I said in here with nothing. She sounded great, so
Yeah.
it's going to be.
And like she
amazing.
said too, can't wait to hear it with the full band.
I can't, and I also wondered, and we were not long on time here, but doing the drums and the guitar, I've heard to talk about the famous bands. Dave Grohl mentions that he was a drummer first, then taught himself guitar, so he plays guitar like he
Like
plays
a drummer,
drums.
yes.
So does it influence the sound or how the music's coming out?
I had so many questions that I hope Rachel will come on as we get closer to the release of the LP to do more of a full interview so we can dive into the full story and,
Awesome.
and answer questions like that.
Yes, I will. Okay. I have so much to say about that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyway, you guys
Absolutely.
This show. Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Take
Absolutely.
care.
See you in a little bit.
See you soon.
All right. So let's bring on some pepper wine. You were able to see them previously, right? You were. Oh, did you? You had to leave that day. Just say you did.
Sure, I did.
Yeah.
They were amazing.
But they are pretty amazing, and they're also just great people. Apparently, Asbury, New Jersey, is the home of amazing musicians and really
And
friendly
people.
people. Because the whole band is awesome, and Kelly and Brees are. They're married, and the kind of like the front, and then Julian is the bassist, and he's incredible. So let's take a look at their song, "No Doubt About It." great song. They have so many like this where it's just a joy to listen to.
Sounds great. She sounds very, if this isn't a word, but Broadway-y?
Yeah, no, I can hear what you're talking about.
Yes.
This is great. So I just think they're great. Again, back to the question about, okay, what genre are they in now? What would you say? I mean, it's like pop, funk, soul, rock. I mean,
a little bit of everything.
It's right, exactly. So it's one of those, like, it's just great. Like, just listen to it. So we'll catch them later on. They have 2 sets today as well. They're playing on Platz, I guess right before Rachel.
Okay.
And then they're also on the Main Street stage at 8:30, somewhat after Archive. So we'll probably catch a little bit of both of their set.
Great.
Again, the beauty of the festival is you can kind of sample a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Breeze, shredding. And Julian, I just think he's such a funky bass player. I think it's great. So there's Pepperwine. Again, 3 o'clock Zinzin, 8:30 Main Street. Now Chance Emerson. Kind of a surprise out of nowhere for me. These are one of the ones, again, he's relatively well known. I never heard of him before. This is where, again, Musikfest comes in huge. Taiwanese American player. And kind of in more of a country-ish sound, but I think it's terrific. So here, his latest song, House We Share.
3 stacks, wood in the cabinet. So if you want a fire, we have it. Honey, this hearth is ours, and I think we're gonna build something. I'll set the table with a 3-course menu, 'cause I learned to cook to impress you. The oven's warm, stands by the fire, I mean it. So hand in hand, I wonder where we'll go. Arms in the air, we're twirling through our kitchen. I run my fingers through your hair. I don't care.
Again, country's not the right word. It's kind of like Matt Carney meets Mumford & Sons, like kind of in that realm. I don't know what you would call that. Like, it's just great. Like I said before, it's excellent.
And I like the video that we're looking at. There's so much going on there, and there's probably stuff behind each part of it that I'd like to know the reason.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm doing the research for what song to play, I have one I definitely want to pick, and this is called a lyric video. So sometimes that's the only version I can find that's, something I can bring on. But it's also kind of fun for the diversity of it. So yeah, Chance Emerson. Americaplatz stage, that's on Southside, 5 p.m. So good stuff there. Next, we're going to bring on Brass Queens. Brass is always a favorite of mine. A lot of people, again, it's always good for a festival. Throw a bunch of brass up there. The cool thing about this band, it is all female. So it's an all-female, all-brass band.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So here is their song called Part-Time Drummer. Yeah, this one has a little bit of a build, but it's very fun. And it's very festival-like, this.
Oh, absolutely.
Some suds. But I love this sound. I can't wait to hear them play today. From New York City. They do a nice mix of originals like this one, and then covers of songs you'll know that are popular in this style. And so it should be a great time. they'll be on the Platz stage, which is the one that overlooks Southside. So it's a beautiful view. 7:30, so it'll be cooling off around then. Should be a great time. Do you like some brass?
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, even on the cover bands, you'll get a guy to come out with a saxophone or something that just brings a different sound that you don't normally get to hear.
Yeah.
And this being that you said from New York, I can picture them playing in a subway, like with the echo from that.
Yeah, they're even going for it with this recording too. I'm sure that's almost what was by choice.
Yeah.
To talk about kind of exactly what you were just talking about. I started struck. I was like, I don't want to hit stop. I'm just enjoying
just
it.
listening.
But yeah, so there is Brass Queens, Stadplatz 7:30, and then the last one we're going to talk about here is Igor and the Red Elvises. I brought you to see them the other time you've come up to Musikfest.
Yes,
they're just such a fun party, but in a very, very great way. Igor's been doing it forever too. So this is a recording that I took of one of their songs. And so I figured I would play this rather than anything else that was out there, because it's going to show you what Musikfest and Igor and the Red Elvises kind of looks and feels like.
They have such a huge following.
Yeah, they sure do. And then right afterwards, we're going to play. I was able to interview him for the preview show, our Exordium, last week. So I just figured, why not play that again, because it was just such a fun talk. And he plays live, so on a day that he's performing, and he's one of the picks of the Platz. Let's replay the interview. So first we're gonna play some music here, though, and just I can't wait for you to check this out. And he plays a cool solo towards the end.
Here without like before.
It's one of my favorite things, and I said it about Archive in what it represents and what like you get with a lot of other things like Blur Crimmins and the Hookers, or a lot of other things that happen at the festival like Brass Queens. You're just like, I don't know what's going on, but I can't stop smiling and I don't want it to stop. And I just feel like this is a different version of that, where you're just like, this guy's playing a solo with a guitar behind his head. There's a dude named Igor and the Red Elvises, and he's wearing what appear to be zebra-striped pajamas, and it's ripping surf rock, it's just so great. So this is again just a different version of that festival of excellence, and this one is just how to have an amazing time.
Oh, absolutely.
And they are amazing musicians too. It's more just like they are tapping into a different part of your brain, and it's just so fun. I'm letting this go too, so that we can watch Igor do a fun solo, and then get a look at his custom guitar. I zoom in a little bit, but make sure you take a peek at it, because it is legitimately a Igor and the Red Elvises axe. It's such a cool guitar. It's what it says on there, Igor and the Red Elvises, and that's their logo.
Just keep looking at the size of the other guitar.
Yeah, so he talks about that in the interview. So he's from the Ukraine, and that is a traditional guitar in the Ukraine.
So that's normal size in
That's
Ukraine.
normal size. It's a bass, and it's in this, and he calls it. I was laughing so hard. He's like, people ask me, what is that Dorito chip? And I was just like, Igor, you're the best. Yeah, look at him rip. He's so good. So that's what it's like to be at an Igor and the Red Elvises show here at the festival. They're going to be on that Americaplatz stage. Looks like not right after Chance Emerson, but the one after that, 9 p.m. Igor and his Red Elvises will be on that stage putting on a show and a half. So You want to take a listen to the interview we did with him?
Absolutely.
Very cool. So it's got a little bit of audio issues. We cleaned it up as best we could, just because he was on a phone, and that doesn't always translate so great. But it was what we had, and we wanted to spend time with Igor. So let's take a listen to the interview we did for the Exordium. Wanted to thank Igor of Igor and the Red Elvises for joining us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you. Looking forward.
Absolutely. And so you are a Musikfest regular. Like, you've been coming to the festival for years now, and people love coming out to your show. And so thank you for sharing your music and your talent and your art with everyone here in Pennsylvania, because you're from California.
Yeah, I love Music Fest. I think we've been doing it like 25, 27 years or something like that. A long time. Hey, it's still fun. I'm still looking forward to it. Every show, every festival. It's a great time. I really
Totally.
like the vibe of the place.
It's a very good vibe.
Different stages and checking out so many bands. Great times.
Sure. And one of the things of your show that you always do is you come out and say, we are your favorite band. And so you're a perfect guest for our show, being your next favorite band. So you're welcome, everybody. This is now your next favorite band.
Oh, yeah. Everybody, Red Elvises, yeah.
That's exactly right. But I would love to share your story, like your backstory here. From what I understand, you were born in Germany and then raised in the Ukraine.
Yeah, I grew up in Odessa. The family moved there when I was like 3 years old, and I lived there till till I turned 18. Yeah, so pretty much.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a great city on the beach. Now it's always in the news almost every day.
Yeah, and I read a little bit that you were already playing, like you were kind of a beach bum there in the Ukraine, learning to play music to impress the girls, right?
Oh yeah, you play guitar on the beach and the girls love it. So, get music career.
That's fantastic. And then, from what I understand, rock and roll was illegal there, correct? Or in Russia?
Yeah, it's pretty. At that time, it was called Soviet Union, the country.
Right.
So, tried not to play it on the radio or on the on TV. Pretty much, it was pretty hard to find like recordings and records. You go to special secret places to trade the records, and it was a forbidden fruit.
Yeah, no, that's pretty amazing. I mean, it's something hard for an American to understand because we've not experienced that. But for you, that was a way of life.
Yeah, it was something. It's like buying drugs these days. That's how you were trading records.
Yeah, no, that's pretty interesting to think about, for sure. But then you do find your way to the United States, and you're part of a band called Limpopo.
Yeah. I had my college band, and some Americans saw the band in Ukraine, and they invited us on a tour. They arranged the tour going through like California, Colorado, Utah, mostly West Coast. And we came on a tour, and I walked on Venice Beach, and I was like, yeah, that's the place for me. So, I'm still there. So
Yeah. Well, even better is you compete in Star Search. Like, so for people who are of a certain age, 80s, 90s, they know what Star Search is. And Limpopo competed and won, right?
Yeah, we were so happy. It was our just got to the country. I think we've been in the country maybe a year or something, 2 years, and we got to compete in that international Star Search. There were bands from different countries, and
yeah,
we won and bought our first van and that money and touring. It was our beginning of our touring life.
Yeah. So I actually have a video here of that Star Search experience. I'm going to play it here for a little bit.
All right. Good old
that it showed. The worldwide search for the best new musical group of the year continues with challenger number 2. Meet a folk and roll group from Russia, Limpopo.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're Limpopo band from what used to be Soviet Union. And now we're proud to represent Russia in the International Star Search. We're gonna perform for you tonight. We hope you enjoy our little show. And by the way, we also dancers.
From Russia, Stravitsha, Limpopo.
I really feel like we can hear your voice in here.
We're singing? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was pretty loud.
Because you're on the guitar there, right?
Yeah. That was my job.
I mean, this is just incredible. Like, you're talking 90s, right? Like in the 1990s?
Yeah, it was like 92 maybe. I would think 1991 or 92. That's kind of good time.
And yeah, for sure. And who knew? Like, there's probably people seeing you now as the Red Elvises who didn't even realize they saw you back then.
Actually, surprisingly, I still have people coming to the show wearing Limpopo t-shirts and everything. There are still fans from 30 years ago, and quite a lot.
Sure.
They still have those t-shirts.
Yeah, I think that's incredible.
I was like, wow, you guys, real fans. They look kind of
and
before Red Elvises.
That's right. That's the OG fans. And I wanted to point out, so that guitar, the big one, not the one you're playing, the big one with the giant triangle.
Yeah, it's called bass balalaika.
And so what is it called?
Called bass balalaika. Balalaika is a traditional instrument, usually with 3 strings, but we did a kind of modern version with 4 strings.
Got it. And you brought it back. So this is a picture of you all as the Red Elvises.
Yeah. People loved it. People are like, "What the hell is that?" They're like a giant Dorito, and I'm like, "Yeah."
It's a giant Dorito. That's amazing.
I got sick of that instrument, and I stopped bringing. But people were complaining about it. Why didn't you bring a balalaika? And I started bringing it again.
Yeah. So here's a more modern picture. Like you can see there behind Igor, you guys brought it back.
Yeah. This one is a little bit smaller and it has 4 strings, but people enjoy it. But it takes so much room in the van. So
I bet it does.
Guitars instead of balalaika, but people always complain when we didn't. But it was like, okay, started bringing it.
Yeah, time to bring it back. So you win Star Search, and then you had a dream that Elvis Presley came to you?
Yes, I had a dream, and He said, started rock and roll band, stop messing around with folk music. Who am I to argue with the king, you know?
That's right. Yeah, no, you can't argue with Elvis.
Red Elvises. Here we go.
That's fantastic. What a great story that is.
Mhm.
And then from what I also understand, so you're settling into the area of like Southern California, and the city of Santa Monica orders you to discontinue playing your music.
Yeah, we were, living close to the beach and played on the streets around, like went to college campuses, played Venice Beach, crazy place, Santa Monica shopping mall, Third Street Promenade, Santa Monica Pier, and people started inviting us. So, can you play my birthday? Can you play a wedding? And we were like pretty much playing every day on the street, and back up, go play someone's wedding, come back, go. We spent like, I don't know, 5, 6 years just playing on the streets and playing weddings, private parties. We played even a couple of funerals. It's weird. Yeah, it's weird. But
No, you know what? I actually think I want you to play my funeral. That sounds terrific. Anytime. Well, let's hope not anytime too soon. But and so I also understand you might be able to play us a song today.
Hey, why not? I'll play you something.
That's a fantastic. So I'm going to give you center stage here.
All right. Shall I start? Once upon a time in Louisiana, I found myself half wasted late at night. I was drinking heavily with Jesus, talking about the past of his life. Tell me, Jesus, tell me more. Why am I not happy? Why am I not rich? Why nobody loves me? Why am I such a bitch? Bitch, B-I-T-C-H. Bitch, B-I-T-C-H. Bitch, B-I-T-C-H. Bitch. Jesus looked at me kinda weird. I saw silver tears in his eyes, cracking jokes and laughing through his beard, drinking from a bottle of fine red wine. Tell me, Jesus, tell me more. Why am I not happy? Why am I not rich? Why nobody loves me? Why am I such a bitch? Bitch. Something like that.
That is fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you, Philip.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for playing that. You have so many iconic songs when you play. I mean, it's like a giant party that's going on, whether it's Bacon or She Works for KGB or plenty of other ones. What is your favorite song to play?
Um, I like them all. It's just something really. It's like, it's like your kid. Like, who's your favorite kid? You know?
Yeah.
Oh, they're all my favorite kids.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, I like them.
That's so great. So you're coming. We'll share your website and the other festivals and concerts that you're performing. But you're back at Musikfest, and you're going to be rocking the stages and packed. I mean, people just flock to your stage.
Yeah, it's a good crowd. I like it. Good fun. good big party.
Yeah. So I highly recommend everybody next week. So Musikfest will be starting this coming Friday and going through the next week. But for that time frame, come out and definitely come out for the Igor and the Red Elvises shows. You will not regret it. It is a wonderful time, and it will definitely be, as you always say, your favorite band.
Red Elvises, your favorite band. Bacon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Igor. This was wonderful.
Thank you, Phil. It's good talking to you, and hopefully I'll see you at the festival.
Oh, we will definitely see each other. I'll see you there.
Take care, then.
So, as a reminder, we recorded that for the Exordium, so that's why I was talking about the festival would be starting Friday, and I actually had recorded it enough in advance that the schedule hadn't even been out yet. That's why you saw me kind of stammering at the end going, we'll see you at the stages. Yes. So, Americaplatz, 9 p.m., that's the Igor and the Red Elvises set tonight, like we said in there, super fun party, and the bingo card that I had in life of that interview did not think I would hit so many squares with a dream that involved Elvis Presley, winning Star Search, growing up in the Soviet Union when rock and roll was illegal, and just what a fun. I mean, it's a 14-minute interview, and it goes all over the place.
Absolutely.
And just this fun guy, like, just so happy, plays the song. It's called Drinking with Jesus. He's referencing being a bitch. Like, I just think, like, what else could you possibly ask for?
There doesn't seem like much.
No, we covered it all. But yeah, so you had attended Igor Red Elvis' show in the past.
I did, and I don't remember it being quite as fun as even watching that. So I can't wait to see them again now. Yes. I know it was at the end of the night last time I was here.
That
was
a
long day.
Yeah, there was some impairment.
But I am really looking forward to that.
That's awesome. So thank you so much for being a guest co-host.
I appreciate you having me. It's great. I love music.
Yeah,
I
right.
live for music, and getting to see people do it live is amazing.
Yes, and thank you for coming all this way. You live closer to Philly.
Yes,
but you came up to spend the day festing with me, and I appreciate that so much.
Thank you for having me.
And hopefully we see you all out on the fest today at all these different stages. It is a wonderful day of music, so let's make sure we get out there and hit the plazas.
Nice.
All right, Phil, let's say goodbye to everybody.
There's Mike there. He's right in the front.
You can't miss the big bald head.
So we hope you've enjoyed this episode of Your Next Favorite Band. I'd like to sincerely thank Rachel Ana Dobken for joining us, sharing her story, playing some live music. Can't wait to see her perform later today. And I'd like to thank Igor again for doing that wonderful interview with us and letting us continue to show it here. There's such a icon. They'd probably be on the Mount Rushmore of Musikfest.
Absolutely.
And he's just such a great time and a genuinely happy, great personality. So it was so fun to spend some time with him. And thank you to Mike.
Thanks for having me again.
Mike Egan, guest co-host today, and loving the fact that we're able to. This was fun too because I was like, oh, you'll come on and it'll just be fun, but also you'll get to hear the music we're about to go listen to. Because for the most part, we're going to follow that, and we might sprinkle in some other stuff along the way. But those are the highlights of what we're going to try and get to, while also eating great food and maybe having an adult beverage or 7. Tomorrow is the last day of the festival, so. We, are probably going to pack things up here and maybe do it from the house or from here. We're not quite sure yet, but guest will be Cassie Hilgert, CEO of Arts Quest.
Wow.
So what a way to finish, right?
Absolutely.
With the leader of the whole thing. And that should be a very, very cool conversation. We'll be able to kind of give a retrospective of the festival and what she found throughout the week, and maybe what the vision is for going forward. So looking forward to that. See you down at the festival.